All right, a pleasure to be joined now by a man who not only caught a touchdown on Sunday, but pulled out a tremendous new touchdown dance when he did it. He's been a big-time supporter of Show Your Soft Side over the years. He's one of the biggest softies we know. He is Ravens tight end Nick Boyle, and he is with us now here on GCR. Nick, it's Glenn and Kyle. It's always great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes for us this morning.
Awesome. Yeah, how you guys doing? It's great to be here.
We are doing great. I have so much I want to cover with you. Like, I don't even know where to start. I will start with the touchdown. First of all, on a play like that, how much do you, as a tight end, have to be aware that, like, you just truly never know what Lamar Jackson might do, and you can't, like, rest for even a split second because the ball might be fired your way at any point?
Oh yeah, I mean that's every single play when Lamar has the ball in his hands, and which is basically every single play in our offense. He's an awesome and truly talented player, and like you said, you never know when the play's going to end. You may think it may end, and then you may stop doing whatever you're supposed to be doing, and then you look dumb because the play continues on. And so with him, you've got to always be prepared. Like you said on that play, if I had to bet money, I would have bet I wasn't going to get the ball in that play.
Right.
But how Lamar used his talent, and how he extended the play, made like two guys miss, and then found me who was open, just snuck out a little bit. Was awesome.
You've always had good hands, but that's a situation where there's a ball coming in like hot. And Lamar does this. Like, he will throw. He's willing to make some throws. I guess that one not quite as hot as some of the other ones that he's thrown you over the years. Is there something that you've done since he's become the quarterback to be more prepared for tight windows, hotter throws that might come your way?
Yeah, I think just to be ready whenever is the best thing for him, whether you're blocking for him or whether you're looking to catch a ball from him. Because I think over the last couple of years, what he really improved on is finding angles how to throw the ball, and you could see him transition with how his arm. You can do a little sidearm sling, He finds these unique angles and windows to throw you the ball. And so I think that the best thing is to always keep your eyes on him and always be ready to get the ball whenever, even when the throwing lane may not be extremely, wide open and clear. He can, manipulate his body and change his arm angle to get the ball to you.
How good of a job does he do of making it easy for a receiver to catch the ball, right? Like, he throws a pretty catchable football, it seems like, on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the extremely catchable ball. He has great touch, and, he's only getting better. And like you said, how he reads defenses and how he extends the plays. We have a lot of huge plays when it may look like the play breaks down, and then it's also all of a sudden scramble drill. And, we practice all the time where, he's on the run and can the first play, play one's over, play B is just starting, and here the wide receivers working on scramble drill trying to find, angles back to him, and we get huge yards that way. Players, the defenses can't cover for that long of a time, and wide receivers are getting open. That's where we get a lot of big plays as well.
All right, now tell me about the dance. Was this premeditated? Was it just, I'm really excited? Okay.
It's never premeditated. It's just something like me, Mark Ingram, Mark Andrews, at practice, just all mess around and just have a good time. And whatever comes out is going to come out. And, I think people's like, man, you got to work on your celebration dance, but I just want to make people laugh. I want to have a good time. And, I always like to, think it's more funny than serious.
I appreciate the fact that, like, you're just genuinely excited you scored a touchdown, and you just want to sort of.
It's hard for me to score.
Right. It's been in, we've stolen some from you over the years.
Oh yeah, or I get down at the one or something.
Right.
It hasn't been the easiest for me to score, and I'm the first one to say that. And so whenever I get in the end zone, it's exciting.
You've done plenty of other things to make up for it, so we appreciate that. Nick Boyle is with us here on GCR. Nick, so a couple weeks ago, you participated in an Instagram live series that Show Your Soft Side is doing. It's called Softest on the Hot Seat. I know Tyler Matakevich from the Bills was on it this week, and there's a couple ones coming up. But I don't know if you know, interesting enough, that night, you had to pick a best question of the night. And the best question of the night actually came from my two sons.
Yeah, they told me that.
So my boys wanted to know, if your dog was in the Paw Patrol, what would the special powers be? Yeah. So can you share with everybody what the special powers of your dog would be if your dog was in the Paw Patrol?
Well, I got two dogs. I got Molly, who was my first dog, I got here my second year when I was here with the Ravens as a puppy, and she's kind of a different character. I think her power would be she could like look right through you and know what you're thinking.
Wow.
She stares at you in some ways. She has that little attitude about her, but she's my baby, and I love her so much. So she's got that little spunk attitude to her. And then a year later, we picked up Cooper, who's a guy, obviously, and we got him. He was a year old already, and he is the most. He's like the sleepiest, most cuddleful. He cuddles all the time, just wants to lay with you, just wants to have human contact. So his superpower would be sleep. He could sleep all day through anything. He's basically like a cat trapped in the dog's body when it comes to sleeping.
I'm not sure how useful to the Paw Patrol that one.
Oh, that's right. You need that. You need somebody.
It doesn't have to be useful. It's realistic.
It's very important. We have the exact opposite scenario in our house. We have had we got a 13-year-old. And she is like, she's always been just the most laid back, I don't care about anything type of dog, which is only a bummer. Like when you try to throw her like a ball, or like when we first got her, I was like, oh, we're not going to be doing much of that. Like that's not going to be happening. She'll literally let the thing bounce off her nose and she won't even react. She just doesn't care. That's the way she is. We just adopted again this year, and our new girl, she is the most high-maintenance dog that I have ever come across. She is licking everything. She's eating everything, and the two of them could not be more diametrically opposite. It's creative.
How was that with the older dog when you brought her in the house? Was she like, who is this dog?
Nope, it's actually amazing. She doesn't care. It's the exact same as everything else. She just doesn't care about anything. She's like, "Are you gonna feed me?"
Awesome.
The only time she cares is like, I am bad with table scraps. I will admit about that. Like,
me too.
You
gotta be.
I have to let the dogs lick the plates. I've got to do it.
Oh yeah.
And I'll put it down. I'll purposely put 2 plates down at the same time so I can be fair, right? Like it's like having 2 kids. I got to be fair about this. And my older dog is absolutely amazing at boxing out the new dog. She immediately goes to the other plate, boxes her out of that plate.
She's not exactly spry.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
Exactly right. She comes to life. Now, I've heard that your love of dogs has infiltrated your parenting now, as you and your wife have a son. And I have heard that while your son maybe has not commanded the best way to refer to you necessarily, he has figured out a way to, imitate the dogs. Is that true?
I mean, he imitates everything.
Okay.
He tries to imitate.
But I have been told directly that he doesn't say "mama" or "dada" yet, but yet he's willing to bark.
I mean, he growls. He loves to growl. So when there's like someone comes to the door, Amazon packages coming all day because my wife orders them nonstop. The dogs bark all the time, and so I think he hears that bark all the time. Then you just hear him go, ah! He growl and bark.
That's so great. That's all. How old is your son, Nick?
He's 10.5 months.
Wow.
So I mean, like his learning curve and everything. It's exciting as him being my first child. The whole experience with him and seeing how fast he picks up on things every, day to day. Something new is coming every day, and it's just so much fun to be around.
How's it changed you? As obviously you were. And this is the thing. You were already a softie. We know that about you. I've openly admitted that fatherhood has utterly changed me, dude. I sat with my son at the beach. My boys are 3 and 5. I sat with my son at the beach this year. It was just the 2 of us. We were sitting down having pizza, and he looked at me. I don't know why. He asked me a question. It was, "Are you proud of me for eating my pizza?" But what he said was, "Dad, are you proud of me?" And I lost it. Like I just started weeping like a baby because I've become a softie because of the kids. We know you were already a softie. How has fatherhood changed you as a man, as a football player, the whole deal?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think my patience has grown tremendously with a lot of things because of him.
Has to.
Oh, yeah, has to, or else it just wouldn't work. And then also, just, obviously responsibilities and everything, but just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain because until you have a child, obviously, it's really hard to explain the bond you have, with him or her. So, it changes everything about me. It changes my outlook on when I come home, what's the first thing, I want to do? I want to see him. I want to hang out with him. When I'm at work, I'm thinking about him, what he's doing, when he's going down for a nap, and always, he's always here, and he's always, when you walk in the door, there's nothing better than, see him crawling, running to you, and or when you leave in the morning, he's crawling to you, and I shut the door, and he starts to cry. So it's just, those kind of moments are just awesome.
It's awesome, man. That's so cool to hear you talk about that, dude. Well, I want to encourage everybody. Nick's always been an amazing supporter of Show Your Soft Side, and unfortunately this year, Nick's always been there for Project Runway, which is a tremendous event. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen this year because of the pandemic. Ask you to consider making a donation. Go to showyoursoftside.org or at Softside1 on Twitter are great ways to do it. Of course, you should be following as well on Instagram, Show Your Soft Side, because that's where these Instagram live shows come up, so you should check that out. Nick, how excited you get the news yesterday on everything's already going well. You guys are 5-1, right? Life is good. And now you're adding into the mix one of the best pass rushers in all of football. I can only imagine how exciting that must be.
Oh, yeah. Anytime, the front office, Eric brings a player in to help us get to where we want to be, it's exciting. And obviously, with Yannick, he's a proven player. He gets after the quarterback just to help our defense. And he's only going to make our team stronger. He's only going to make us better. And, yeah, we're 5-1 right now. And I think over this bye week, we still had practice, and we still went back into the castle, and we got to work on things we need to clean up, because I think what's truly special about this team is that we have extremely high standard for our football and for ourselves. And so, yeah, we're 5-1, but there's so many things that I know that we can get better at and that we're striving to get better at. So if we're 5-1 right now and we have this attitude, I think we're only going to get better and better and peak at the right time during the season.
What is, I think that we've heard some of you guys talk about maybe the offense being a little bit off, just not exactly where you want it to be, is this perfectly well-oiled machine. Is there something...
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Is there something in particular that you think, we're this close, or if we just can get this cleaned up? Do you have any of those feelings going into? I don't know if you heard, it's a pretty big game next Sunday.
Oh, yeah, huge game, man. Yeah, obviously, let's look at last week. We had extremely, extreme amount of penalties. You can't win with that, and that's us on us players, and only us players. And that's something we just have to clean up. And like you said, it's little things, whether in the run game, making this block or making this throw, or these people being on the right, on the right page on this type of route. They're small things that'll go a really long way once you clean them up. And I said, it starts with the penalties, and it starts with us players being, mentally focused on every single play, good or bad, forgetting on that play and moving on to the next and not having them compound each other. And I think that's, it was a good time. It was an early bye week, I think, in the season, but it was a good time for us to sit back and kind of regain our focus and, tighten up some screws on that kind of stuff and go into, obviously, this upcoming week versus the Steelers, which we will need to be at our best to win this game.
Obviously, look, 5-1. Again, we keep having to say that. You're 5-1. But last year, the difference between having just this 14-2, little resistance, every time you took the field, it was sheer dominance.
You won by 1 million.
Right.
The game was over 5 minutes into the first quarter.
And then this year now, where, like I said, 5-1, but there's been a little bit more, speed bumps, right? You say you hold yourself to a high standard, and I'm sure that you guys are looking to get back to that level. Do you think that at all, in a way, it's helpful to go through these growing pains earlier in the season and try and work through them and get to where you hope to be later?
Oh yeah, for sure. And our coach Harbs and all the coaches they say don't peak too soon, and obviously last year was, a historic year on how we were playing and running the ball and moving with our offense. And this year, like you said, we have some bumps in the road, penalties, whatnot, just not clicking and firing like everyone's used to seeing. But, like you said, do we want to be firing right? Do we want to be playing our best football right now, or do we want to be playing our best football when it counts at the end of the season when we get into the playoff games to move further? And I think that's where our mindset's at. And, every single game we're trying to go out there and play our best, whether we win by 2 or win by 50, and and we're always like we said, striving to be great, and I think that's just the most important thing.
Nick Boyle, just another minute or two with him here on Glenn Clark Radio, courtesy of Show Your Soft Side. Nick, look, man, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. What else do we say, right? Like it's everything for you guys. You're gonna be able to have a little bit more. There'll be 4,000 people that will be in the stands next Sunday. I know it's not a lot, but do you feel like it can do something to sort of get a little bit of the atmosphere that you guys have come to know from Baltimore-Pittsburgh games over the years?
Yeah, definitely. We miss our fans being there, and it's completely different this year. We've noticed that from the first game versus the Browns. I mean, in the warm-ups, we're talking to Mark Andrews and Pat Ricard, and we're looking around like, man, this is weird this year. It's weird. It's just so quiet. You could hear the opposing coaches screaming and yelling what they think we're going to run.
Wow.
Stuff you don't normally hear. You're hearing. And so, obviously, like you said, for this game playing against Pittsburgh, even to have a little bit of fans there, our fans are awesome to give us a little energy and just cheer us on. Like this past week, the Eagles had a couple fans, and to experience that was kind of different. I think it's exciting, and it's kind of hard to see what it would be like to have a full stadium again.
Has there been an instance where you heard the coach yelling what they thought you were going to run, and it was right, and you were like, "Guys, maybe we should do something different."
Yeah, they're like, "Watch this, they're doing this," and in the middle of the play, like they'll be like, "Oh, he's holding," or they're yelling, "Oh, pass interference," and this is like you just look over there because these are like things you've never ever heard before. It's kind of funny. It's weird. Like I said, with no fans, it's kind of like it's calm. You could think out there, like clearly. Obviously, you could think when there's fans there, because that's what you're brought to do. You play in the NFL, but with no fans there, it's almost like calming. It's kind of weird. It's spooky in a sense.
It might have been Ricard. Somebody told us earlier this year that, like, legitimately, he's like, guys, quiet down. We can't call the play so loud they can hear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we tell Lamar and Skura to sit the huddle a little further back and please don't scream out the play because they're right there and they can hear everything we're saying.
What a weird world! What a weird world we're living in. All right, I want to give a shout out to something the Show Your Soft Side is doing. They've established it's called the Phoenix Fund to provide grants and emergency funds to 5013 nonprofit animal rescue organizations in Maryland that accept dogs into their adoption programs who have been abused or neglected. Named in honor of the dog whose story of abuse inspired the creation of Show Your Soft Side's anti-animal abuse campaign, the Phoenix Fund is being established to support the medical needs of homeless dogs. The fund will provide grants of up to $500 to each approved rescue in order to provide necessary veterinary care and medication, special equipment, food, and or evaluations from animal behaviorists or trainers. It's an amazing thing. I'm not surprised by it, Nick. I know how involved you've been with Show Your Soft Side. It's a special group of people doing something really special. Can you put into words what this partnership has meant for you and your family during your time in Baltimore?
Yeah, like you said, the Phoenix Fund to help, support abused and neglected dogs here around Baltimore, and it's everything to me, coming from someone who truly believes in adopting dogs who don't have homes, who don't live their best life for the first part of their life and looking for new homes. And like you see around Barks Animal Shelter, all these things, you see these dogs being found in awful situations, in dumpsters on the side of the road, just neglected, starving, hungry, and scared, and it's not their fault that they're put into the situation. So this fund is here to set up to help those dogs, to reach out and to get them healthy, to turn around their life and put them into a loving family home. And I think that's everything. And obviously you said you adopted, so
yep.
It's something truly that means a lot to me.
ShowYourSoftSide.org, again, is the website to find out more, and please consider making a donation. It's just tremendous work that they do. Nick, you are on Twitter at NickBoyle86. What about Instagram? Where can people follow you?
Let me check. I don't know. Well, let's see.
Oh, man.
I look at my Instagram, but I don't post that much.
Hang on.
It's NBoyle86.
NBoyle86. There you go.
Yeah,
give him a follow there. Nick, congratulations on a great start to the season, on a big touchdown last week. We continue to admire the work that you're doing in our community, man. May you guys win next Sunday by 1,000 points. Appreciate you taking the time for us this morning, as always.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I had an awesome time today talking to you.